What's up guys, hope you're having a good day. In this video we're going to be going over our profit and loss from last week, going through each of our bets to see what we did well, what we didn't do so well, and if there's anything we can learn from our performance. So I want to kick things off by saying I'm really sorry that the service that I gave you guys wasn't as good as it usually was last week. On last Monday I was starting to feel quite unwell, and as the week progressed, a pretty nasty virus kind of disrupted all my plans for the week. I was pretty rough, to be honest with you. I know if you guys hang out in the VIP chat room with me on my website, you'll know that I was feeling pretty sick last week. And on top of that, obviously, I was putting out Telegram notifications to the community as well. So yeah, I was just feeling really beat up. I don't get sick that often, but that was the worst I've felt in a long time. Just I won't go into too much detail, but it was pretty bad. And it lasted a lot longer than I thought it would as well. Most viruses are not supposed to start that long, but right up until, I would say just yesterday, I was still feeling pretty beat up and rough. To the point where on the weekend I was starting to get a little bit worried that there was something a little bit more serious going on. I was starting to get a little bit nervous and freaked out by it. So I'm really sorry. Obviously, we weren't able to live stream last week, and also had to cancel the box break where we were going to be cracking open these two boxes of UFC Prism. I'm now feeling a lot better. I feel a hell of a lot better today. I would say I'm close to back to 100%. So we are going to be cracking open these two boxes of UFC Prism. We'll do them Friday night, the night before this weekend's UFC. We'll do it the same time as all the box breaks before the UFC. So I'll give you guys the times for wherever you are in your part of the world. We'll do it at 11 p.m. British time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And a little plug, if you haven't bought into the box break after that for UFC 264, we still got 17 packs available for the box break after that. So yeah, really sorry that I let you guys down last week. Well, I didn't really let you guys down. Like I always say, at the end of the day, live streams are a luxury, and I was still able to give you breakdown videos for every fight, and obviously, a good range of bets for this card, which, ended up doing pretty good, which we'll take a look at in a bit. So I do think a big part of the reason why I got sick was I've just been feeling crazy run down lately. I think actually I was telling some of you guys in the VIP chat room just before just before I got sick, how run down I was feeling. And you know what it's like, man. When you're feeling run down, your body will just get you through what you need to do, and then it'll just fucking break. And I think that's pretty much what happened. Going into that Rosenstrike Sakai card a few weeks back, I was just exhausted. I remember when I sat down for live betting it, literally every muscle in my body was aching. I was so tired. I was just it was just a grueling week. And so, got through that Rosenstrike Sakai card, and then bang, Monday, just got hit with some nasty virus. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. But what I don't want to do is kind of rush back into live streaming for 5-6 hours a day. YouTube videos, breakdown videos, live betting on a weekend, and then kind of fuck myself up again because I'm not back to 100% yet. So what I'm going to do this week is, instead of live streaming, I'm going to just research some fights by myself like I did last week. Obviously, I'll post the regular breakdown videos to the website just like we did last week. We always have every a breakdown video for every website, a breakdown video for every UFC fight on the website. And then if I get time, I'll try and do a YouTube video as well. But yeah, just feeling I was fucking rough last week, boys. So I want to say a massive thank you to you, man. You were all so patient and understanding, which I didn't expect, because, there are some savages online, but you guys are really kind, really patient. And, even though I felt like I was really letting you guys down last week, you certainly didn't add any pressure to me or make me feel that at all. I really appreciate it. It meant a lot. So things will be going back to normal soon. I'm hoping by next week's card, everything will be back to normal, where I'll be live streaming research for every fight, that kind of thing. But this week, just first part of this week, I'm just going to research these fights by myself. and obviously post breakdown videos then to the website. And again, if you've bought into this Prism box break, we'll be doing it on Friday. About time we crack these babies open. I know you guys have been waiting for a long time, and I'm really sorry we had to delay that. I was going to go ahead with it just because, like last week, I was going to go ahead with it. Like, I started even setting my camera up and everything, but because I had a fever, I was sweating a lot and I was coughing. And my wife literally just came in and she was like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, yes, you're going to piss people off if you cancel the box break or postpone the box break. But you're going to piss them off a lot more if you start sweating and coughing all over their cards." And I was like, yeah, fair enough. That's a good point. And that's when I cancelled it, which is why you had one telegram saying, still going ahead tonight. And then like an hour later, I put out another telegram saying I'm not doing it tonight. That was my wife and her voice of reasoning, basically saying, don't be a fucking dummy. And I'm glad she did, man, because I was feeling real rough on Friday night. So if I would have pushed through, that stream probably would have had to have abandoned it, which would have been an absolute nightmare, with us obviously having 2 of these boxes opened up. So yeah, really want to thank you guys for your patience and everything, and things will go back to normal soon. But now obviously, even though last week wasn't able to provide you guys with the usual service in terms of there being no live streams, we did get out breakdown videos for every fight, and we obviously did also have some bets, and we did pretty good. So I tell you what, let's kick off by starting with live betting, because if you're in my live betting group, you'll know that I was feeling all right by Saturday night. I guess, when I woke up on Saturday afternoon, I was feeling rough. But by Saturday night, I was starting to feel a hell of a lot better. So in live betting, I was starting to feel pretty good. Now, obviously, as you see up the top, just so that we don't end up like repeating the same job every week, these profit and loss charts only get updated once a month. At the end of every month, Hiltzy, who's one of the members on my site, comes in and updates all these profitability charts for me. So the profit and loss that you see in this video won't be reflected in the profitability chart yet. They'll be updated at the end of June. But if we scroll down, obviously live betting is our biggest cash cow. It's our most profitable type of bet, and it continues to just be the gift that keeps on giving. It's incredibly profitable for us, and we did make a profit again last week. So we banked 2.34 units of profit, 2 nice clean winners as well. Obviously the odds move around a lot, liquidity is always variable, but the 2 bets that we had last week, the odds stuck around for long enough, I think, for everyone to have more than enough time to get in on them on a range of different sites. I know that I was able to get in on both sites, on all 7 of the sites that I have accounts with at the moment. And so even though this is only 2.34 units of profit, it was actually a giant night for me last week because of how long those odds stuck around for in the bets we hit. Obviously we went 2-0 on bets, and I'm not going to say who we bet, because it makes it easier for betting sites to kind of identify the people in our live betting group, particularly if they know roughly what odds we bet at. It makes it easy for them to kind of spot patterns between people's betting and stuff. So I never like to give that information away, but it was another solid night for us in live betting. It kind of brings me on to one little thing I do want to talk about with live betting. I've decided to close the ability to sign up in live betting. Basically close down the ability for people to sign up to live betting at the moment. So I'm probably not going to be doing single event passes anymore. And if you go to the live betting memberships, you can see that they're currently out of stock. So if ever you did want to join that live betting group, you just get in contact with me. Either send me an email or preferably a DM on the website, and I just want to have a chat with you. Just want to start screening people that come into our group, just because the live betting is extremely profitable for us, and because of that, we need to protect the strategies that we use, the knowledge that we have, and protect the experience for everyone in the group, right? So, there is some people. There are people in the group from all over the world that use a range of different betting sites, and I just need to make sure that people aren't sharing my bets with other people, so that people in the betting group can lock in the bets that I recommend at the best odds possible. I said on Saturday night I would love to have, I would love to have, 5,000 members in my live betting group. I would absolutely love it. I would love to make tons and tons and tons of money off this, but I can't. We've got a member cap for a reason, because the more people that try to place the same bet at the same time, the faster the odds decline, and so that ruins the experience for everyone else in the group. And that's why I like to keep the group quite small. I had to ban someone from the group last week for sharing my bets to like 100 people, which obviously ruins the experience for everyone else. It makes no sense to me why someone would be that selfish. If I felt that it was sustainable for almost 200 people to follow my bets, I would have 200 people in my live betting group. There's plenty of people that want to join all the time. But the reason why I set a membership cap, and the reason why I don't advertise this group or market the group that much, is because I just can't accept that many people into the group. So it's showing out of stock. If ever you did want to join, DM me, email me. We could have a chat about it. But I'm going to set up some kind of like screening KYC process for people that come in the future. But if it does interest you, just get in touch with me. You won't be able to sign up through the website anymore. Another thing, because this is now shut down, or because this is now out of stock, if you're on the 3-month non-recurring membership, obviously you won't be able to renew your membership through the site. So if you go to, very strange, why isn't it showing up? Why isn't it it's not showing up because it's out of stock. Of course it's not showing up. Okay, so if you pay like 3 months non-recurring membership to be in the live betting group, obviously you won't be able to do that through the website anymore because it's out of stock. So when you want to renew your membership, just send me a DM, reach out to me in the VIP chat room, and I'll give you like a private link via DM where you can sign up and renew your access. And don't worry, man. If you're on a 3-month non-recurring membership, I'll obviously I will always keep your place, man. It's no problem. It's all good. But yeah, I've just made it out of stock so we don't have new people joining us at the moment without me being able to kind of screen them. Okay. That's it for live betting. There's quite a lot to talk about there. Another profitable week for live betting, and the profit train keeps chewing. So let's look at pre-fight bets now. So if we go to the pre-fight betting section of the site and we scroll all the way down, let's start off by looking at loose bets. So obviously we had 3 loose bets last week, and we ended up going 2-1 on them, for an overall profit. So it's 1.14 plus 1.9 equals take away 2. So overall profit of about a unit. Very nice. Because it's been quite a massive month for us, actually. I think we made 4.5 units of profit last week. 4.5 units of profit on the Rosenstrike Sakai card. A unit of profit on the Izzy versus Vittori card. And that takes us to over about 5.5 units of profit this month, which is pretty good going. Obviously, again, these profitability charts only get updated at the end of every month. So this profitability chart hasn't been updated to reflect, this week's bets or last week's bets. But I would imagine this profitability chart, when it does get updated to include this week's results, would be up here somewhere. Like up in this area around the 45 units of profit mark, I would imagine. But yeah, let's delve into our bets from last week. So had a 2-unit bet on Drew Dober to beat Brad Riddell at odds of 1.71. Still quite happy with this bet. I know it lost, but I think in the first half of the fight, Dober showed why I felt he was a good bet. He wobbled Riddell at the beginning of the first round. He also wobbled Riddell at the beginning of the second round. And you saw in the first half of the fight how Dober was just faster. more durable, he moved better, he hit harder, and in that first half of the fight, he was causing Riddell a lot of trouble. He was kind of lighting him up, and then Riddell took over in the second half of the fight, stole the second round by finishing the second round stronger, and won the third round. I thought the first round was very clear for Drew Dober. I thought the third round was very clear for Riddell, and the fight really came down to the second round, right? I think it was quite subjective how you would score round 2, because, you know, Dober definitely wobbled Riddell in round 2. There was quite a lot of grappling in the first half of the round, and the grappling was initiated by Riddell because he got wobbled, and Dober kind of turned him into a panic wrestler. But then, you know, Dober got a bit tired, and Riddell was able to outwork him in the second half of that round. But I don't think Dober was in that much trouble, and I think that it was possibly a little bit harsh by the judges to forget the fact that Dober did rock Riddell quite bad in that second round. If I'm scoring that fight, I actually do give the first 2 rounds to Dober, because I think, you know, rocking Riddell in that second round was the most notable thing to happen. You know, Riddell took a lot of damage and he was hurt off that. Even though he outstruck Dober in the final 2 to 3 minutes, Dober was never in as much trouble as Riddell. Like, he was tired, but he still rocked Riddell. So, you know, it is what it is. I think Dober was a victim there in round 2 of hurting Riddell a little bit too early on, and then the judges kind of forgot about it, especially Riddell, with Riddell's work at the end of the round. But I think you saw why I felt Dober was a decent bet. He almost knocked Riddell out in the first round, almost knocked him out in the second, and then Riddell just showed his toughness that we knew he had, and just out-hustled Drew Dober in the second half of the fight. But it was one of those fights where there were no losers, really. It was a great performance from both guys. It was fight of the night. It was a brilliant scrap. And on another night, you know, maybe we'd have got a winner on Dober. Don't regret the bet at all. I think if I'm analysing, like, giving you guys the reason why I felt the bet lost, I think that the main reason why we bet on Dober was because we knew Riddell wasn't the best defensively, and he had a habit of getting dinged because he likes to get sucked into these reckless exchanges, and we really saw that. You know, he got wobbled in the beginning of the first and the second round. But I think what we saw was Dober's not used to cracking guys and seeing them kind of eat his best shots and continue to be able to perform well. Whenever we've seen Dober crack guys and hurt him in the past, he's either knocked them out or they've faded under the pressure that he's put on them. You know, when Dober rocked Riddell in the first round, he got even more aggressive and tried to take Riddell out. And Riddell just went toe-to-toe with him, blow for blow, strike for strike, stood his ground and hung in there with Dober. And I think that kind of threw Dober off. And I think that's why Dober got tired. Dober just wasn't used to a guy being able to stand up to his power and speed. And so it was probably a learning experience for Dober where, you know, he'd never really faced anyone that could take his shots before, and continued to perform at a decent level after taking his shots. I think that's what led to the loss, because Dober really got tired for the first time we'd seen him get tired in a really long time, and that's because I think, like I say, he wasn't used to guys hanging in there with him in those kind of exchanges, and he obviously wobbled Riddell at the beginning of the first round, wobbled him at the beginning of the second round, headhunted a little bit. You could see he was definitely hunting for that knockout. Probably adrenaline dumped a little bit, you know, wobbling a guy twice, catching a guy with his best shot twice, and seeing him still survive. But yeah, don't regret the bet. You know, Dober almost came through for us. It was a great fight. No losers in that one. And let's move on to another one. Obviously, a bet that went a lot better for us was a one-unit bet on Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo. Do you know, in hindsight, I don't regret the Dober bet. But if we're talking about mistakes we may have made last week, I do maybe regret not going a little bit bigger on Moreno. By the time that the fight started, I was feeling really confident on Moreno. Really, really confident in him. And probably should have gone bigger than a unit on Moreno. I kind of regret only going a unit on him. When I saw how bad Davison Figueiredo, well, as it was one of those bets where as the week progressed, I started to feel more and more and more confident in Moreno for the reasons we obviously discussed in the breakdown video on the site. But when I saw Figueiredo on Monday's embedded video already in the middle of a brutal weight cut, 5 days ahead of when he had to weigh in, when I saw that, I was like, you know what, Figueiredo is gonna have another brutal weight cut here, and it's gonna be very, very difficult for him to go 5 hard rounds with Moreno again. And then we obviously saw him at the press conference where he was looking like a broken man, if I'm honest. He looked ill. He looked ill. Ill. He didn't look good. And then obviously the weigh-ins were brutal. And we knew Moreno was a significantly better striker and grappler than Figueiredo. We picked that up in the research. And so, yeah, I was probably a bit of a pussy here. I should have gone bigger, because we knew Figueiredo was going to have a tough weight cut. We saw it at the press conference and in the embedded videos. And we knew Moreno was better than Figueiredo everywhere. So we should have gone... Well, I should have told you guys to go bigger on Moreno, so I do regret that. But it is what it is. We banked a nice winner on Moreno anyway. We didn't get greedy, just hit a nice little winner on Moreno. And yeah, it was a good bet from us though. Solid bet. Moreno. It was an easy fight for Moreno. I had a feeling it would be an easy fight for him, and he got it done for us in a big way. And then the other winner we had was Carlos Felipe to beat Jake Collier. This fight played out pretty much exactly how we thought it would. If you go back, watch the breakdown video that we put out for this fight last week on the website, we pretty much described how this fight would go. Like, it pretty much went exactly how we thought it would go, right? We knew Carlos Felipe would start slow, he always does, but we knew that as the second and third round, progressed, Felipe would pick the pace up, pick his volume up, get more aggressive, and start to outwork Collier, and that's exactly what happened. It did end in a split decision, which, it is what it is. MMA judges doing MMA judging things. It was a close fight visually, but I do think Felipe won the fight 29-28 pretty clear. I thought, scoring the second and third round for him pretty clear, if I'm honest. Yes, it wasn't like he dominated round 2 and 3. It wasn't like he ran away with rounds 2 and 3, but he completely dictated the pace of the fight. He outstruck Collier. He did the cleaner work. He was in total control. So if he would have lost the split decision, I would have been really disappointed with that. Felipe did exactly what we expect him to do, though. He did fuck about a bit. He always fucks about. You always feel like Felipe is one of these guys that's such a great boxer that you feel like he plays around too much in his fights. I remember in the live betting commentary, I compared him a little bit to Anderson Silva in that his boxing is so far above the level of most guys in the heavyweight division that when he's in there with guys, it's almost like he wants to play with them, and he, I think, unintentionally makes fights closer than they need to be just by fucking about and showboating too much. I think in his head, by messing around and playing and showboating, he's kind of sending a message to his opponent and the judges that he's totally in control and very comfortable. But obviously, unless you land, that doesn't mean anything. And hopefully he'll learn that with experience, because he's a very good boxer. And thankfully he came through for us in a really big way. So 2-1 on pre-fight bets for about a unit of profit to keep this profit train chewing. Obviously this profitability chart is looking very nice. And add the last week's profits where we made, we went 4-1 on these bets last week. To make about 4.5 units of profit. June for these loose bets is shaping up to be a fantastic month. And like I say, when this profitability chart is updated, we should be up here somewhere. We didn't have any tight bets last week, just Montana De La Rosa the week before. So let's move on to the lab bets. So if we take a look at the lab, let's go into the lab. And if we scroll down, we didn't have any over-unders last week. There just weren't any that I liked. There were some tempting over-unders. For example, the under in the Diaz versus Edwards fight was pretty tempting. I didn't go for it, and I'm glad I didn't now, because it would have been a loser. It was tempting just because of how bad defensively Nate Diaz is, but we know that Edwards is quite passive. We know Edwards is super tough. Diaz is super tough, and I think that's ultimately the reason why I went the distance. So yeah, we didn't end up hitting that. The under on the Jamal Hill Paul Craig fight was obviously very tempting as well, but the odds were terrible, so there wasn't much upside in going for that. So yeah, didn't have any over-unders last week, but obviously over-unders are doing great this month. Up about, well, almost 4 units on over-unders this month, and hopefully we can find some over-unders this weekend on this Dan Ige Korean Zombie card. But obviously we did have the even money bets, and we did really well on the even money bets. So we went 3-1 on the even money bets. So 3-1, and it would have been 0.67 plus 0.74 plus 1.25 equals take away 1. So just about 1.5 units of profit on the even money bets, going 3-1 on those. Pretty happy with their performance. You can see this profitability chart is looking insanely good as well. And I know we made a profit last week. Not sure exactly how much on the Rosenstrike Sakai card. Looks to be about break even, actually, a small profit. But obviously, this even money chart is slowly grinding its way up. And also, when I get time, I will be moving the even money bets over to the kind of like official betting tip section of the site, because now that they've reached a really good sample size of 200 bets, I think it's time that they moved over. They've proven themselves to be profitable over a very long period of time, very good sample size, and I'm starting to really like these bets quite a lot. So yeah, bets we had last week: Eric Anders to win, he came through for us. Fariziam to win, he came through for us. Drew Dober to lose. Ironically, our only loser on these even money bets was Dober, which was actually one of our loose bets as well. And we also had Laura Murphy to win. She came through for us pretty big also. So yeah, I won't go into too much detail on them because we'll be here all day, and they're just kind of even money bets. You can kind of read the description there if you haven't already. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Main event picks. The only type of bet on our website which isn't profitable is main event picks. We did pretty good on those. We went for Moreno to win and Israel Adesanya to win. So we did pretty good on them to put a bit of a dent in these losses. And the only other type of bet we've got to cover, obviously, prop bets. I don't like giving prop bets much airtime. As you guys know, I'm not a fan of prop bets, which is why prop bets are the only bet on the site with a disclaimer on the page, because they are very, very dangerous. Let's look at how we did on prop bets last week. So we had Carlos Felipe to win by knockout or TKO. That one missed wide. Felipe was never, ever close to a knockout. Laura Murphy to win by submission. 10.50. You know what? With how dominant she was in the ground in round 2, I think you can see a good amount of value with that one. Obviously a loss, but a 10.50. The odds on that were very generous. Belal Muhammad to win by knockout or TKO. That one missed wide at 5.0. Israel Adesanya to win by knockout or TKO, 3.0. That one missed wide as well. Vittori never in any danger. Dober to win by knockout or TKO at 4.50. I think that was a pretty good bet. Dober almost knocked Riddell out twice at the beginning of the first and at the beginning of the second. Yeah, that was a pretty unlucky one as well. And then Brandon Moreno to win by decision. Tough to say if that one missed wide or not. I'll let you be the judge on that one. But yeah, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0-6 on prop bets for a 6-unit loss on props. But yeah, I hate prop bets. I wouldn't recommend you guys bet these anyway. This is a profitability chart that only a mother can love. I mean, they are profitable over the long term, but just absolute chaos. Too many ups and downs for me, which disrupt compound interest growth. I would much more recommend you guys stick to the more solid bets on the site, like the bets you'll find in the lab, and also the pre-fight bets. And if you can afford to join the live betting group, definitely fucking do it, because it's like printing money. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Nice one, everyone. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this week, I don't know if I'll live stream later on in the week. I might do, but I'm going to be researching these fights myself and posting breakdown videos to the website. I'm going to be posting breakdown videos to the website in the usual place where you'll find the breakdown videos on the site. And yeah, hopefully we can have another profitable week. Obviously 2021's been amazing for us. We just banked profits on everything in 2021. 2020 was also brilliant for us as well. And hopefully, we can have another big weekend this weekend. To be honest with you, there's not many names jumping out at me on this card, but I'm sure we'll dig some stuff up, and hopefully we can find some of those over-unders as well, because I think our win rate on the over-unders is something like 80%. I think my turn calculated is like 80%. It's something mental like that. So it would be good if we can dig up some more over-unders. So I'm going to go jump into the research now. If I don't see you in the live streams this week, boys, don't forget, if you bought a pack, we're going to crack these open on Friday. If you haven't bought a pack, watch anyway. I'm going to live stream YouTube, Twitch, and the website. But yeah, thanks for watching, boys. Love you very much. Take care, everyone. Nice one. Have a great week. And again, thanks a lot for all your patience last week. It was brutal, man. I was going through some rough shit. Literally, but it's all good now. Almost back to 100%, and hopefully we can punch the bookies in the dick again this week. Take care, guys. Love you all. Nice one. See you soon.